So what happened while I was gone? As I said before, there was in the mid-August there was a major hurricane level storm, basically just winds here and some rain here in Ljubljana, 100 kilometers per hour plus. But fortunately for us, that day the storm was the event was in the afternoon. In the morning they came to cut the old cherry tree because it wasn't producing any fruit anymore. Pridna Liza. And last 5 years there was nothing, basically no cherries. And they have also come on the same day to cut down the spruce tree, which was here. And because spruce was so tall, even though it had been trimmed several times in the past, it still was now so tall, and the branches were so long that it would, during the storm, it would hit the roof and the house, the house itself. So it was decided some time ago to cut it, and this was basically happy coincidence that they came on the same day and taken care of it. Yeah. And what has happened also? So in the first week of July there was another flash storm here in Ljubljana, basically between 30 to 45 millimeters. I see coins. Okay. Pridna. Yeah. So 45 to 45 millimeters of rain had fallen in less than 2 hours. Shishka, so our district, was particularly hard hit. And what happened at our house? The basement and of course the whole yard was once again flooded. This is why all the stuff, all the junk from the basement is once again outside. And the regulars on this channel will start wondering, didn't we hear about another flood at your basement recently? Yep, this is the second flooding of the street, the house, the yard in less than a year. The problem is basically, the public drainage system cannot handle major floods, let's say, storms, and all the rain comes here. And of course also our draining system, even though there are several plus there, cannot handle it. It was after several weeks of extreme heat, the grounds were basically baked. And yeah, so that 45, if you're wondering what 45 millimeters presents, it's basically 45 liters of water per square meter. And I think the average water rainfall is basically half of what has fallen that day in 2 hours. So and I said, the firefighters once again came to the rescue, you know, to drain the basement. And now, as you can see, once again the renovation slash drying out is in progress. That's why all the things are... Ja, žogo maš, tako veliko žogo ima Lizi. Ja. Oh, our goalkeeper. So yeah. Yeah, Chucky. Ready? Yeah. So yeah, they had some eventful times while I was away. Yeah. Kajde, to je to. To je to. Je pridno. And she has enough. So yeah, as I said, as usual, there were, you know, typical victims of this flooding. But once again, our university clinical center, so the largest medical facility in Slovenia, whole Slovenia, was flooded. Our local health center was also flooded, but I think that if I remember correctly, it wasn't basement wasn't flooded, but the roof caved in, and you know, locker rooms, changing rooms, wardroom for the staff was flooded. And also our local, my former elementary school was flooded. Basement, and I believe the gym and the local gymnasium was flooded. The basement, basically their, you know, storage areas, and yeah, gymnasium has also interconnected dormitories, you know, for high school students, and the basement of the dormitories and the gymnasium was also flooded. Basically their laundry room was hit, and of course some of streets were submerged, especially those that are, you know, like underpasses. So yeah, apparently it was fun. And of course our local water maintenance sewage company said they cannot improve the system. I don't know how much can you see. So basically, you know, you have the road, it's basically concave, you know, middle is a little bit raised, it goes here, and then of course the sidewalk is a little bit raised. Here is like high point, and then it's, you know, the drainage up to the second drainage. So this is the first, second is by the ball, the third is there, and there is the fourth line. But you know, and the drain one is there, as you can see, and another is there. But when it's raining, this is like a slope. All the water from that point and from that point basically comes here. And when it was so much, because it was so much rain, there was another large pool of water, you know, on the other side of the road. And basically every time when the car, truck, bus, a vehicle came by, yeah, it would, you know, push the water on this side. And of course, when they were driving on this side, water would be pushed across this hill amount into our yard. And of course, one of the problems is this, you know, also the concrete what is the word that I'm looking for? Concrete, I cannot figure it out. I will remember perhaps later, but you know what I mean. And basically it also forms like a pool, you know. But even if the concrete barrier, okay, let's use barrier, I cannot find a more appropriate word, the water couldn't go up, because, you know, it's a little bit, there is a little bit incline by the under the green fence. So basically also some water comes down to our yard from the other side when it's, you know, let's say waterlogged. And yeah, this is how we had 2 major floods in less in the year around here. And this was actually only the, I believe, the 3rd such flood that it had managed to also flood our basement of the house, you know. There was another incident, but that was another flooding, but that was man-made. Basically, yeah, we can talk about it. So my grandparents, you know, live, well, now just the grandmother lived on the 1st floor, or elevated ground floor officially, which is once again grass munching. They are living there, you know. One night, as usual, you know, grandmother put in a load of for wash, turn on the washing machine, went to bed. Next morning, my grandfather, you know, wakes up, puts his feet down on the floor, and there is a couple of centimeters of water. He goes around, whole floor was flooded, and the water had also managed. Then he went also downstairs, and he also found out that water came downstairs. So the basement was also flooded, not so much like with these rain floods. There was, you know, some centimeters, so 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters of water in the basement. And the reason for the flooding was the drainage hose from the wash machine got disconnected somehow. And basically, you know, basically the principle of washing machine is, you know, putting in clean water, rotating, cleaning the clothes, and then, you know, draining the water and filling in the water. But because the drainage pipe was disconnected, the whole night the washing machine was pumping water in the washing machine, because the level of water in the inside of the washing machine hasn't reached the you know, the necessary level to trigger the sensor to stop the input of water. And basically, you know, the whole night the water was pumping in the washing machine through the hole for the disconnected drainage pipe directly to the floor. First, of course, in the bathroom, then the whole floor, then to the basement. If I remember correctly, they lost, you know, the wood flooring on their level had to be replaced, and also in the basement. So yeah, that's the history. Хватит. Yo, Liza. Yo, Liza. You know, I cannot have a nice, fresh trousers, pants for not even a whole day. Not even, what is it? Not even 4 hours. Not even 4 hours I can be clean around her. So yeah, that's it. More later.